Hey everyone, it's me, JG, the author of Blizzard, and welcome to the episode 4 of the BlizzardHailstorm Audiobook. As always, if you'd like to follow along, you can find a link to the book in the description. All that being said, let's get started. Act 3. A Ninja in the Shadows. Esther looked out the window of the helicopter and watched the city change to grasslands, forest, a river, and finally another city as she awaited to land in the crisis district. She looked around in awe at the tall buildings, wide streets, and many cars, amazed at how fast the city was rebuilt. Her eyes were drooping as she gazed at the area, but she was unable to fall asleep because her head was aflame with thoughts of Magnopus. Would she have to confront him there? Was she ready to? She truly hated him, thought all sorts of horrible stuff about him, but she was still afraid to meet him again. What would he do to her? To distract herself and stay focused, she looked out the window. All she could see was ruins and the shadow of greater buildings to the east. Then she heard a voice in the intercom. Landing in T-minus 60 seconds. Rouge smirked at Esther. You excited? Esther remained silent. After the minute promised by the pilot, the helicopter landed. The door opened automatically, the girls exited the helicopter, and they entered the smoking ruins. The helicopter then departed home as soon as they stepped away, ready to be used for another urgent mission. Everywhere Esther looked, she saw fires, crumpled buildings, fallen power lines and streetlights, stray rats or bugs searching for food, cars turned on their side, upside down or simply abandoned, and smashed windows. Thankfully, all intelligent lives seemed to be evacuated from the district. Esther grabbed a broken picture frame featuring a human child and his family smiling. It's unfortunate what happened here, Esther said as she silently placed the picture back down. Yeah, Rouge said as she flew in the air to get a bird's eye view of the area. She folded back down to Esther and asked, You're in charge of this mission, kitty cat. Where are we going? I'm in charge? Said Esther with a quickened voice. You're the one who can best locate Magnopus, remember? That makes you the leader. Esther sighed and looked around. Then she spotted a building that seemed more intact than all the others. We can go over there, Esther said as she pointed to the building. It's more stable than the rest of the buildings here. It's our best chance to find anything. Rouge agreed and took the disguise with Esther following closely behind. The ruins were mostly the same throughout the city, except that sometimes she would spot the shadow of an occasional human or animal staring at her. She would feel an intense presence from it, so she would look away, but when she looked back, nobody was there. Esther called out to Rouge on the third occasion of this. Rouge, did you see that? Yeah, Rouge replied. Something real fishy is going on in this city. After a while of walking, the girls finally arrived at the building, which appeared to be some kind of artillery store. It was built of material that was tougher than the rest of the city, allowing to withstand the attacks of the Shades better. Let's take a look inside, Rouge said as she entered. Esther followed after her. Inside the store, all the weapons were gone, the blue paper on the wall was tattered, and dust was in the air, making it seem foggy. Esther's eyes watered, and she coughed. Suddenly, as if someone heard her, movement stirred from within the store, but the girls could not see who it was. Then they heard two pairs of footsteps and a small buzzing sound heading their way. Esther brought up her gauntlets, and Rouge got on guard. Then a green crocodile appeared out of the dust. He had intelligent demeanor to his eyes, along with headphones and a gold chain around his neck. Rouge? He asked. Esther laughed a bit when she saw he was friendly. Sorry, I thought you were one of those bounty hunters. Esther just perked, though, at the mention of her old profession. Vector, Rouge sighed. How are you? It's been a while. Is that silly team of yours nearby? Oh yeah, Vector explained. I suppose I should call him off, shouldn't I? Then he turned to face the dust behind him. Hey, you SPO, join me. You can come out, they're cool. Then from out of the shadows, there came a purple chameleon and a small bee. Hey guys, Rouge said as she waved at them. Long time no see. Yeah, shouted the bee. The chameleon nodded and smiled. The bee flew up to Esther. Who is this? Then he started flying around her and asked so many questions that she got dizzy. Whoa, Vector said, pulling him away. One question at a time. Let's start by getting out of this room, the chameleon said. All this dust is going to clog our lungs. They all agreed and began to speak just outside the building. Esther, Rouge explained, this is Vector the crocodile, Esther the chameleon, and Charmy the bee. But together they make up Team Chaotix, an amateur detective agency. Vector gasped strictly. Amateur? And this, said Rouge, turning to Team Chaotix, is Esther LaPerm. Besides talking to Esther to hear her full name like that. She was one of the heroes who saved the city 6 months ago. Ah, the Mistress of the Wind, Vector explained. Many of the cases I investigated pointed to her as a culprit. I was never able to do anything with that information bottle. Esther looked down. Really? Charmy said, staring at her and shrugging. She doesn't look like much. The last time I heard of you, you had turned yourself in, Esther asked. What are you doing out? I've been sent out to report an important mission for Gannar that only I can accomplish. Rouge is here to keep an eye on me. Esther explained. What is this mission of yours? Esther asked. Yeah, Charmy explained. Maybe we can help. Esther looked down. I've been sent out to capture a criminal who's long deserved justice. Who? Vector asked. Magnopus, Rouge said. Espio's eyes shot up to Esther's, making her a bit nervous. I see, Vector sighed. Espio, you have something to say? Espio sighed. We've been trying to catch him for years. Each and every time we found some clue, he threw us off easily, as if we were cats, and he had a laser pointer. I was furious at this. So when we finally got a lead to his base, I foolishly acted on my own, thinking I could catch him while he was asleep and make up for all my failures. This is earlier in our career, and I did not have a strong sense of teamwork compared to what I have now. What I didn't know was that Magnopus was able to detect all movements in his bedroom. He caught me and completely humiliated me from every hunter at the base at the time. But as he prepared to end me, Vector and Charmy broke in and saved my hide. Once we got out of there, I made a firm resolution never to act rashly on my own again. Esther's eyes widened. That was him, she thought. Then she clenched her fist. Another person who Magnopus hurt. Then you have something in common with the rest of us then, Rouge said as she smiled at the ninja. And what's that? We've all had beef with that creep. Then maybe you should join him, Vector asked Espio, catching everyone off guard. What? Espio shouted. But boss, I can't go with the... Now you shut your mouth, Vector shouted in a friendly way. You want to go and we all know that. Espio smirked at his boss. You know me well, dear friend. Vector then placed his hand on Espio's shoulder and bent down on one knee. I know how long you've wanted to bring this guy to justice. You've been begging and begging, but we're just not strong enough. We haven't found a good lead yet. But now you found people who have ways to take him down. Go, Espio. We're asking you to do this. Yeah, you've got this, Charmy affirmed. Espio nodded and smiled. Then he ran off to see Rouge and Esther. If you would have me, he said, I would like to accompany you on your mission. Rouge smirked at Espio, to which he sighed and turned his gaze to Esther for approval. She said, I would appreciate it, Esther said, but first I'll have to check with the commander of Gannar. Maybe we can finally use this to get on their good sides, Vector sighed. Then Esther put on her gauntlet and called Commander Abraham. After a while trying to get a hold of him, Esther turned to Rouge. He isn't picking up. Huh, Rouge sighed. This is very unlike him. Try calling Jewel. Esther then tried to call Jewel. Once a few moments had passed, she picked up with, Hello, Esther? What's up? Hey, Jewel, Esther replied. There's this person named Espio the Chameleon of Team Chaotix. He says he has a bit of history with Magnopus, and he wants to help us on our mission. Is that fine?
Espio, you say? Yeah, I met him on Team Chaotix. Sure to me we like luster, but they're trustworthy, despite their previous actions towards Gun. You made the right move in calling one of us and adding another member.
Speaking of us, Rouge said, you used to see how Ada was doing. He didn't pick up her call.
Alright, I'll go check on him,
Jewel said.
Thanks for the heads up. Girls, and Espio, good luck.
Then she hung up. You're in, Esther said. Espio smiled. Ooh yeah, baby, Rouge said. It's time to take down Magnopus. Esther sighed fiercely, her anger being replenished thanks to the mention of the name she abhorred. Okay, well, she said in a slightly more aggressive tone, we should be off. And she turned around and started in the other direction. Rouge and Espio glanced at each other with confusion and followed after her. Espio did not get too far until he realized that the rest of the team was not with him. He turned back and saw Vector and Charmy, one standing on the other flying near the store. He ran over to them and asked, Are you guys coming? I think we'll keep looking for clues over here, Vector replied. Besides, we want to be associated with a group that calls us lackluster, Vector laughed. Besides, this is your mission, buddy. Go get him, Charmy said. Alright, Espio said. I'll be going. I'll be seeing you back at the base in a little while. Oh, don't get too confident while you're out there on your own, Vector laughed. Yeah, Charmy added lightheartedly. There's not much you can do without us. Espio smirked. We'll see about that. Espio, Rouge sighed. He turned around and saw Esther and Rouge waiting for him. You coming? Espio ran after them and waved goodbye to his team. The remaining members of Team Chaotix waved back and disappeared into the ruins, continuing their search for justice.